What is up, guys? It's your boy Sports Rundown Diesel here. Welcome to the last part of my fantasy football series, part 7 out of 7, talking about the kickers of the NFL and who you should target and who you should avoid. Kickers, please, with kickers, keep an open mind because any of them could have a big year. Anyone from, anyone on the top 15 down to anyone in the lower seedings on the rankings, like Boswell out of Pittsburgh, Dan Bailey out of Minnesota, and Hopkins out of Washington. You got to keep an open mind, with all of these kickers, that any of them could have a big impact on fantasy football wise. It could be the difference from your team, losing by a couple points to winning by a couple of points. But you got the big thing that you should target with kickers is a kicker that is very consistent at making 50-plus yard field goals, like Greg Zerlin, Tucker, Lutz, Gostowski, Butker, Fairburn. Anyone in the top 15 is very consistent at kicking the 50-yard field goals and making the 50-yard field goals. So I definitely do recommend you guys going to one of those, anyone in the top 15, I would definitely recommend. And that's really all you need. Like, literally, that's all you need in terms of a kicker. The only time you're really going to need a backup kicker is when when your starting kicker has a bye week. So I would not recommend you draft two kickers. I would not recommend you draft two kickers, have one, and then have a backup one, because now you could have a spot for someone, a wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex option, whatever, that could help you potentially have more options in terms of who has the better matchup for the week and who could put up better fantasy numbers depending on matchups and all that jazz. So I do not recommend you pick two kickers, have one kicker, and then when that bye week comes up, rotate around a backup kicker that's going to be consistent enough to put up points for you. So then it's not like you're losing out on fantasy points. So that's my big thing with kickers. Kickers to avoid. Anyone from I'm only saying this because of last year and them losing to the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. I have to say the Chicago Bears. I'm just playing with you. They got a new kicker this year. Hopefully this kicker does a very good job this year. I was watching some of the preseason games that Chicago had, and he was kicking consistent field goals. So I think Chicago's going to be fine in terms of kickers. I just say that jokingly because of last year. It looked like a jail cell for the Chicago kickers last year. They just could not get it together, and unfortunately, they were a field goal make away from going to the I would have picked them to go to the Super Bowl and played against the Patriots, but they were one kick away from playing against the Rams in the NFC title game. So it's unfortunate they lost that way, and they have a really strong young defense, Khalil Mack and etc. But don't avoid Chicago. If you want to avoid Chicago, go for it. Cody Parkey is not there. I think if I remember correctly, he missed 7 or 8 field goals last year, including the one in the NFC divisional game. But now that they got a new kicker, it's green lights, I think, on anyone in the top 15. Keep an eye on the guys in the bottom 15, because some of those guys might creep up in terms of fantasy points and them making consistent field goals, and especially from 50-plus, 40-plus, because that's 4 and 5 points per field goal. So it's a big difference, like I said earlier, from being down 3 points to your kicker making a game-winning field goal on Monday Night Football, and you win by 2 points because it was 50-plus yards. So it's a big difference when you have a kicker that is consistent and making 40-plus, 50-plus yard field goals. So, but that is all I have for you on kickers here in part 7 here. Once again, I want to thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you have not. Please subscribe to it. I want to try and get the subscribers going up on there, especially if you're on Facebook. Try and subscribe to YouTube because You know, it'd be nice for someone to get, you know, enough subscribers to get paid, even though I'm far, far away from that yet. But I want to thank you guys so much for the support that you guys have given me so far. But I'm gonna be trying to do a week one, week two, like an every week thing on who I like this week, who I don't like this week. I'm gonna try my best to do those kind of videos. But stay tuned for the next episode. It's gonna, you know, there's more NFL news going on, right? That's gonna be coming up shortly on, you know, if Zeke's gonna be signing, you know, if he's signing an extension yet, et cetera, et cetera. But moving on from that, just thank you guys so much, and just enjoy the night. Have a great night, guys.